saying live on YouTube. There it is, live on YouTube.
Oh, it does work.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, it
mine
says
says
it on my
live on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it does
So
say.
we're live.
It's on the
Okay, well,
other-
it's loading. It's loading.
So, call to order.
Is this
and
our
we have-
15 minutes of fame?
This will be your hour of fame. So we have a quorum. And so our first thing we have to do is approve the agenda. And this is the amended agenda that Debbie sent out. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. A residence form for residents. If you're watching on YouTube, there is a chat function that you can hit and write in a question as either you want to wait until the end or as we go along, you can ask your questions. So our next thing is the approval of the minutes from our January meeting. Have people have a chance to review and make any changes to that?
Okay. Is there any more?
No,
Hi.
no,
Okay,
we're
That's
good.
it.
everybody's on now.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You can hear me
Okay, you
also.
Matt Bandit.
Oh, wow.
So you should be able to. I can't remember how to get.
We're seeing it.
Everybody, how do I?
Anyway, for the rest of us,
That's single.
on the agenda, do you have any
Everybody can talk.
changes not to the agenda, to the
Oh,
minutes?
wow.
Any
Yeah,
changes
everybody else is
to
in too.
our
So
last minutes?
Okay.
you should see everybody.
All right. Thanks, James.
Well,
All right, so no one wants to make any, there's no changes, so we can approve the minutes. Is there a motion, or can I have a motion to approve the minutes from January?
I approve minutes. Ann wrote it.
Okay. Ann,
Yes.
and then second?
Second.
All right, and we can move on. The approval of the minutes for the March 27th covenants meeting. Have you had a chance to look that over and make changes or approvals?
Did not have minutes for the March
Oh,
27th.
okay. All right, then take that off our list. All right, let's move on to the management report. Faith or Debbie?
I don't have a management report for this meeting. Debbie sent
Okay.
out the books, so whatever
fine.
Debbie had in her book.
Okay,
I have a management report.
Yeah.
No, you don't have anything, Debbie?
No, sir.
Okay, let's move on. There's no old business. And now for the real reason we're here, the new business. It's to recommend the approval of the amended policy resolution number 7, architectural design and approval procedures and guidelines with applications. That was included. Yeah, Debbie.
We need to make sure that we put on there the short form and long form approval.
Okay. So the architectural design procedures and guidelines with applications, long form and short form.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And has everyone had a chance to read through what changes there were? I thought Debbie did a very good job of putting it all together in an easy, coherent way. And I thought she did a great job, and I didn't have any changes from what was sent in terms, and then what she has in red, which are the changes, and everything else is pretty much almost exactly what we've had in the past, except for a few changes. So any comments? Anyone have any comments for
I
that?
just have a comment.
Yeah.
The solar films on windows, I was told about 5 years ago when I had the thing, that was taken off. They did away with that. That came from the office, but they didn't send, they just told me, like over the phone, you know. So is it still on? that solar film?
People still have to come and get the application for it.
Well, oh, okay, it was, I forget who was the president, the manager then, but they just sent me, I guess it was, I don't know, if it was an email or what, and said, we didn't need that anymore.
Okay.
So,
Well, it's supposed
I
to
don't
be,
remember,
we're
I don't remember the
supposed to,
date.
okay. Well, we're supposed to be with, compliance with Lansdowne Woods, and they're the ones who set that
Oh,
that-
okay,
one up. So we should follow that one through.
yeah, nobody ever has asked. I
But
think
nobody
Liz-
has asked recently.
No, I
Or
haven't.
No, but I know people who've
I
had
think
it,
I
but
only had one request.
But on your first form, on your first page, it has the 3 sections in it.
yeah,
It tells you, this will give you the, who has the authority to pay, to approve what. But like on number 3, the covenants committee has authorized management to approve these changes with short form. So those are the things that Faith and I could approve. And then 1 and 2 would have to go through you all, through the covenants.
right. And one of those is solar film.
Mhm.
But that's, again, that's an easy procedure. But I liked what you did with the, that page. On the previous, it sort of, it was strangely set up so it was hard to read. But this, if we can keep it in this format, it's much easier. And I think this is what we should share with people once the board approves. So we can send that out and people can say, yeah, that's a good idea. Or that's at least now I know.
Okay. And did anybody look at the application to make sure that they were okay with the long form application?
Yes.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. It's not too tedious or,
I think it's good.
Oh, no, looks great.
You're talking about
long
Exhibit
form?
A?
Yes.
Okay.
7,
No, I mean, it's gotta be
6.
long because it's the
Yeah.
long form.
That's right. That's right.
But again, people, when they come down and say, okay, I want to put film on my windows, then that's gonna be more of a short form.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I can do that. But if I want to turn around and make a major change to my kitchen and my bathrooms, then that's a long form.
That's right.
I think, yeah.
Has everyone had a chance to read through and any other questions or changes or
Yep, I thought it
suggestions?
was all good.
Okay, and so this is the short form. I'm showing you so you two can see it also.
Oh, I guess you could switch to the
share.
share mode.
Oh, okay.
Right now, what she's gonna do is switch to a share mode, and some of us may not see each other. But you're gonna be able to look exactly at people watching on YouTube right now will be able to see the actual form that we're talking about.
Nice.
And if you want to go, Debbie, go down to the, there you go. What you're looking at right now is this is basically your checklist of what has to be going, what's long form, what's short form, what can the management office do? This is for folks watching on YouTube. And then we can go to the, well, this is all the language.
This is the short form.
This is very good.
And then the long form is many, many pages because it's a long form.
Because you get the policy
Right?
resolution with it, telling
So
you
when
what,
when we forward this to the board, everything that's in red, because we're not making any changes from that, will become black. Because now we're saying we've approved that. And or I guess maybe the board would like to see, what do you think?
I
The board
think
like to
that,
see what the recommended changes are? Okay,
yes,
then they can turn around and make it all black after the fact.
Might be a good idea.
Okay. And one thing, Mike, since you are our board liaison, the covenants reports to the board. So what we're going to prove today is saying we're going to be sending it to the board for approval or
Right.
for review. And buildings and facilities and budget and finance really don't have, I mean, they could see it as a courtesy, but they don't have to make any, they don't have to vote on it or approve it.
I would agree.
so do we want to get this on the agenda for tomorrow? Do we want to?
I thought
wait?
it was because it says it's on their May. I don't know if it is or not. You
No.
Okay. I would like to put it on the agenda so that they can talk about it and review it. And I'll be
Get
there
started,
and be able to report on it. And so I would take out that when we talk about the proposed motion, I move to accept management's recommendation of the amended policy resolution number 7, architectural design approval procedures and guidelines with long form and short form applications, and for review in their May meeting, and basically cross out forward to buildings and facilities and the board. Okay,
Mhm.
does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that if we can, Faith, I guess you want me to send you an email and saying that the covenants approved this and we're forwarding it to the board for its review and approval
Approval.
meeting
Right.
In the
tomorrow,
May meeting,
in the May meeting.
yes.
That's,
I mean, or in the April meeting.
April meeting.
oh,
April or May,
meeting.
sorry,
April,
April,
Well, tomorrow. Yeah.
right,
yeah. So,
and they might decide to table it because they don't have enough time to review it.
that's fine.
Yeah.
We can let them table it.
or what I'm going to recommend in my motion is that the board authorize us to forward it to legal so that legal can have a final review of it. So they know what they have to help us enforce should it be necessary.
Okay,
Good.
And that way, so instead of tabling it, we can go ahead and move forward with the next step, which is having legal review it.
okay. Okay. So, and the thing is, this doesn't cost the association anything. And let's go through management. So we're guidelines, long form and short form. All right, so I guess if we're ready, any more discussion on this? Anyone have any more?
It's good.
All right, so the proposed motion is to accept management's recommendation of the amended policy resolution number 7, architectural design approval procedures and guidelines with long form and short form guidelines or applications to be forwarded to the board of directors for review in their April meeting. Or may I have a motion or approval or someone to approve that motion?
Yes.
A second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Unanimous.
opposed?
No.
All right, then that motion is passed, and that was our discussion for today. And Debbie, can you remove the share screen so there's nothing else to see at this point? Okay. All right, well, I guess that wraps up I guess our last thing on our agenda is a resident forum. Is anyone on YouTube, has anyone raised a hand to ask a question? I guess I'd have to have it on YouTube to watch. Is anyone monitoring the YouTube?
I have it, I don't see anybody, I don't see any responses or anything,
Okay,
so, but if they have, well, it's going to the board tomorrow, so they
yeah,
can,
they can talk then.
yeah.
All right.
So,
But before we adjourn, now, I mean, now that everyone has the Zoom and the Zoom app, I guess one thing that James and I were talking about with this is until the everything's lifted, social distancing and wearing of masks in public and staying 6-8 feet apart, that it makes more sense to hold our meetings as committees on the Zoom and then stream that to YouTube for the residents to watch. And I certainly I think that's how we should handle it, but I don't know, now that you guys are on Zoom and you have it, do you think that makes sense?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because then you don't have to leave your place.
Yeah, exactly.
You can, you
I
can
actually
say,
got dressed for the occasion.
well, wait, we'd like you to be dressed. 'Cause you're on camera.
Well, I could have shown up in my bathrobe with my hair in curlers.
Yeah, there
I
you go. When we had that fire alarm on the building last month, there actually was a woman who came out and she had her hair in curlers and her bathrobe.
Really, yeah.
It was a look.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So that's, I think, and based on this experience, we certainly need to train committee members on the procedure of what to do so that you can join the meeting much
I
more
would love to
easily.
have a training.
Now tomorrow, I think tomorrow the plan is the board of directors is going to meet in the party room. And we'll stream it to YouTube using our Sling. But that's we'll see how that works out. But that's going to have how many people? 12 people spread out in the room. And then we already exceeded the 10-person limit that we're supposed to have at that point. Ooh, someone's leaving. It's goodbye music. All right, well, is there a motion to adjourn if we've got everything done? Is there a motion to adjourn? Who's that? Who is that? That Mike?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Okay,
You got
all in
two?
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Aye. All opposed. Okay, so I'll see you guys around the halls or at our next meeting.
Very good.
With a mask.
All right, Deb, what you got to do is